Hello guys, welcome to Motivational Series with Ego. Guys, how are you all doing? I hope this week is treating you very well. So guys, let us talk about something important. Something a lot of us don't even see as important, but it is very important. So important. I intend taking this topic calmly, like I want to treat it really calmly because it's important and it concerns both the men and the women. So some of you might want to know what it is. It is postpartum. First, let me say this. Very few people know the meaning of postpartum. Some people just do not care about what it means. Now, what is the meaning of postpartum? Postpartum simply means after birth. After a woman puts to bed, after a woman gives birth, that is what it means. After a woman gives birth, what follows is postpartum. About 3 weeks ago, I was on the phone with my friend. We're having this light gossip, like, girls gossip. And then she told me about a friend of hers that gave birth few months ago. Now, she said this friend has not really been herself, that her friend barely eats. She's always nagging, complaining. She's not feeling herself. So now I told her this friend of hers is having postpartum depression. So she didn't really know what I meant when I said postpartum depression. So I wanted to shoot this video some few weeks ago, but I've been neck deep busy. But yesterday I went online and I also I saw a news relating to a woman complaining. A woman made a video of herself that since she gave birth, that she has not really been feeling herself, that she's always all over the place. She says she barely eats, same complaint my friend also complained about. Now she says she's always nagging her husband, fighting, always picking fight and a lot of things. I was getting a lot of comments, and now one comment triggered me, and this comment happens to be from a mother as well. She said that in her own words, she said, now no waiting postpartum be or waiting postpartum depression be all this people una no go picking where they bring joy, picking where everybody go born, you go they bring joy, you go reach una turn, una go they give excuses, una go they say postpartum depression. All these people where their parents don't use housemates spoil and other things. She was really talking out of ignorance. Then she now made a comment like, our mother will give birth during those days, they no get anything like postpartum, so why can't we say now our own day different? Anyway, now this comment really triggered me because she commented out of ignorance, and I really had to reply her politely. I told her that if she doesn't know what postpartum means and what postpartum depression is, she should by all means make researches on it so that she would have more ideas about what it means, instead of coming to comment ignorantly. Now a comment like hers is what drives people even more depressed. It is what makes people, when they have problem, they don't want to talk. So you can imagine if everybody is having the same comment as her. Meanwhile, this lady had to film herself crying. You can tell on her appearance that she is truly depressed. Now she took out the courage to film herself and to ask mothers if they have mothers that have been in such experience and ways to help her. Now some people feel she's being stupid or she's being senseless. So now let me educate us what postpartum is. Postpartum is a process after birth, like I said. In Igbo, it is called omogo. And then in Yoruba, it is called ojojo omo or jojo omo, something like that. So every dialect in Nigeria have their own, they have their own meaning in their own dialect. But overall, postpartum is after birth, omogo. It's a procedure where your mom, after you give birth, your mom or any of your family member comes to take care of you, to cater for you. Now this postpartum has a depression to it. Yes, it has a depression to it. A lot of mothers, and especially it happens to first-time mothers, yes, or mother that gave birth to twins. So it's usually common with first-time mom. Now, when I gave birth 3 years ago, I had postpartum depression. And I know, and I could remember what triggered mine. So mine started from when I was in the hospital, because at the time I was pregnant, my doctor recommended I should have a very long bed rest. So I was in the hospital for a very long time. I couldn't move around. I could barely do things. I could even barely feel my own pregnancy. So that sitting in one place alone already triggered it for me. And then when I moved back home, we got this new house. So we didn't have time to make researches about this house because I was almost ready to put to bed. So we just saw this very beautiful house and we paid for it. It was very spacious and we paid for it. So we didn't make findings about anything. So we also moved into this house. There was we barely had light in this house, barely. We barely had light. And then this very beautiful house, every night I was always seeing ants. And all these, is it ants? Not even ants, flies, all these funny flies. I don't know where it comes out from. Now we flit every day. Now because of it, we started flitting every day because of the new baby, to avoid mosquitoes. And then, but one way or the other, these flies always come out. Yes. And at my own time, I didn't have my mom come around to take care of me due to health reasons, so she couldn't come down to Lagos to cater for me. So it was my mother-in-law who was just popping in and out to bathe the baby. So this time around, it was just myself and my husband. My husband truly helped. It was just myself and my hubby. So I was not sleeping. I was always worried about these flies. I was always worried about the light. I was always worried about a lot of things. And the only time we'll get to see light is whenever my hubby comes back home. He puts on the gen. That's the only time I get to have light. But during the day, no light. So it was mainly myself and our baby. So I was worried about a lot of things. So before you say Jack, I stopped eating. I wasn't having appetite to eat. I couldn't sleep at night. I started having insomnia. I started having a lot of stress. And that was what triggered my postpartum depression. Now, guys, how did I work on myself? Like I said, my husband contributed a lot. I started making researches. Like I started asking Google the reason why I couldn't sleep, the reason why I wasn't having appetite, the reason why I'm being depressed. I was really, really concerned because I was always getting agitated at every minute. So I started making researches. That was how I knew that I had postpartum depression. So now what I did was I had to reduce this thinking of a thing. I told my husband too started making researches. He was making his own findings and other things. So I started eating a lot of fruit instead. Like I started with fruit. Like I used fruit to start building my appetite. I started with them. My husband reduced going to work. Yeah, he reduced going to work. He was not going to his office every day. So he reduced it. He cut down on going to work. He was now taking care of the baby. Now, during the time the baby is awake, my husband makes sure I was getting enough sleep. I was always eating fruit. Then there's one thing too that kind of helped me. Now, I do not know if it's advisable for mothers, but I did it and it helped me. I was always taking sugar. Like I might just drain a bottle of mineral every day. Like I did it for some days, and I know it's not healthy, but I was doing it because the sugar intake was kind of helping my mood. So I started eating. Then before you know it, I started regaining my appetite. I started eating well, eating healthy. I was watching the things I eat. I was having enough sleep. I was having enough rest. And then I was reading. I started reading. Like I just took novels. I started reading. I took some motivational books from I took some motivational books. I bought some motivational books. I was reading. So I was just doing anything that had to be health related. So that was how I started getting myself. And then again, we planned on moving. Not even planned, I left the house even before my husband could start searching for another house. I just left the house with my baby. I went to my mother-in-law's place, because that flight alone was number one depression I was having. Because during the night time I start protecting my baby. I would always want my baby to be inside her baby cot to cover up with her net, but the baby doesn't want to be inside. She wants to be outside during the night time, and I was always scared that this fly might bite my babies and other things. So I was always protecting the baby. So now I had to move out of that house, because no matter what we were doing at that time, no matter how we were fleeting, these flies keep coming out from where we do not know. So I did a lot of changes, a lot of things. So now it varies with mothers. So my advice to first-time mom or mom generally experiencing postpartum depression is eat well, eat healthy, eat a lot of healthy fruit as well. Sleep well, sleep well. If you have families that want to help you, that are volunteering to help, if your mom is around, then that's good, that's a good one. If you know people you can trust that would want to help you, you should by all means take all of the help you can get, because right now you need it, especially moms that are going through postpartum depression. Even if you're not going through postpartum depression yet, but you just put to bed, you shouldn't have to stress yourself. All you should think about is your body going back to its normal, because at this time now there's a lot running through, there's a lot of changes with the woman's body. Your body is trying to go back to normal, to the normal way it used to be. Your uterus is trying to contract. There's so many progesterone, estrogen, if I'm right. So everything is just everywhere, all over. Then you trying to breastfeed, especially if you're a mom and you're doing exclusive. And then you'll be thinking of also doing one or two chores in the house. So all of these things is always so much, and it triggers this depression, especially when you do not have anyone to help you. So that's why you see during those days, mothers, when they come for, once their daughter gives birth, you see them, they come for omugu. But why coming for omugu? They always have this jumper, they always have this their bag filled with a lot of things like stockfish. You see them come with all these herbs, pepper soup herbs. They make you this very hot pepper soup. Those hot pepper soup alone heals you, it heals you from within, even from outside. Your mom help you take care of the baby while you get some rest. So when you see mother that doesn't really have help, they do not have anybody helping them, it's just them and their husband, you see the stress becomes really, really much, especially when the husband is not helping, especially when the husband doesn't even know that there's anything postpartum depression, there's anything depressing after a mother gives birth. So now it is now left for the husband. The husband have a duty. The husband have a very big role to play after the wife gives birth. Some husband, they feel okay, this woman has already given birth, so now she's free, she can go on and start doing her normal daily work. It's going to be too overwhelming for the mom. It's going to be too overwhelming. Sometimes you hear your doctor rings it to your ear, make sure you are sleeping during the day while the baby is sleeping, because babies are usually awake during the night, because they are yet to come to terms with being outside, not inside the womb. So that's why sometimes you see them at night, they're always awake. They maybe 30 minutes sleep, they will wake up, they will request for breast and other things. So during the day, your doctor will advise you to sleep. And a lot of mothers that doesn't have help barely have enough sleep, because while this baby is sleeping during the day, you see some mom, it's the opportunity for them to keep the house in order. It's the opportunity for them to be inside the kitchen to cook, to tidy up the house, to wash the baby's clothes. A lot of things is always going on. So now for this lady that is saying that our mom didn't experience postpartum depression, who told you they didn't experience postpartum depression? In as much as they were not crying out, they were taking, our moms were very much stronger. Now, so in as much as they were just taking up everything inside, it didn't mean that they were not having postpartum depression. And at that time there was no internet to loud it like now. There was no internet, they didn't have that opportunity where they will film themselves and for people to give them advices or people to know the pains they are going through. And at that time they even had help. At that time, that's when you notice that when somebody gives birth, when a woman gives birth, her mom is always on ground, even before she gives birth, even maybe a week or so before she gives birth, the mom will already be on ground. The sister will be there. In fact, the house will be so filled up. That's the woman having a lot of help. That way she can sleep. Your mom would, while the baby is crying or like all over the place, your mom will be there to cuddle the baby while you rest. Your mom will be standby to massage you. Your mom will be standby to make you this hot pepper soup. I don't know this Uda and the rest. I don't know their name in English. I know they have English name, but I do not really, or rather I've forgotten their names. So all of those herbs is also healing. Like during my time, I didn't get the opportunity to have this herb pepper soup. I didn't even get the opportunity to get massaged on my tummy and all those things, even hot, very hot back massage. I didn't get opportunity for any of those. And number one, that's because I gave birth through CS, and then number two, my mom was not on standby. My mother-in-law comes in to help once in a while, then she travels back. So the husband, like my friend now, was complaining that her husband comes back. Whenever her husband comes back home, the husband is always calling her lazy, telling her she's giving excuses. She's using the new baby as an excuse not to clean the house, not to go to the market, not to do things. Now that is I don't know. That is not, it's totally wrong. Men, if you are doing this to your wife, a woman that just gave birth, it is wrong. Trust me, you want to help her, because if she's ignored more, what will happen next, you might not like it. So if a woman is having postpartum depression and she's not getting the help she needs, the situation will worsen, especially if she's not getting the help she needs, and if she doesn't know how to get out of it. It will only worsen, and it is dangerous for the baby. Number one, in case you don't know, a mother having postpartum depression with a baby and having a baby with her, it is not safe for the baby. It is not safe for the mother. It is not safe for the husband. If the whole household is not safe. Because at that point in time, she's depressed. A lot is going through her head. She just can't wrap her hand. She can't wrap her head around things, the changes and everything, the stress. She just can't put up with it. So the husband now plays a very big role. Like, you play a very big role in helping her recover, in helping her go back to her normal self. So for the women, eat a lot, healthy food, eat as much fruit as you can, sleep as much as you can. The things you can do, just let it slide. It's not a must that you have to finish up. It's not a must that you have to wake up from bed in the morning and then go back to bed midnight simply because you are busy working and other things. It's not going to be good for your health. So if you cannot cook, it's okay. At least the husband should be able to assist, or whoever is around you should be able to assist. It's not okay if you do not have the strength to wake up and start cleaning the house, washing. Just make do with the little you have at that time. Now your main focus is on the baby, bonding with the baby, and then working on your own health, healing back to your normal self. So that's my advice. But my number one advice is the husband should help. Husband, you can't keep you can't just keep if you continue with the way you are handling the woman or ignoring the woman, you only trigger it more. It won't help at all. It won't help one way. So you should know that there is a depression. There is a depression attached to postpartum. There is a depression attached to it, especially if the woman is not getting the care, the attention, the love she needs, the support she needs at that time. It's going to be too overwhelming for the woman. So guys, let me stop this video here because it's already long and I do not want it to bore you guys, so I will be stopping it here. If I would need to do another video concerning postpartum depression, then I will, but right now I need to stop this one here.